Turning to our top story now, the horrific scenes from the Ukrainian town of Bucha. Our CBS News crew visited the area, and we got to warn you that the images you're about to see are incredibly disturbing. President Zelensky went to the town yesterday, taking his first known trip outside of Kyiv since the Russian invasion began. His goal, to bring attention to the violence that he is calling genocide, while many world leaders are calling it a war crime.
Russia has denied killing unarmed civilians, saying that the deaths occurred after they left the area. But there are new satellite images that contradict that. Debora Patta reports.
This is what war crimes look like. Defenseless civilians shot in the head with their hands bound. Residents taking their last ride. Mass graves filled with the bodies of nearly 300 executed people. This couple thought they'd recognize their son's arm in one of them. It was not him. Their grim search continues. When we visited Bucha, we saw a trail of destruction and death. In a basement, we stumbled on the body of this man. He appears to have been blindfolded, hands tied behind his back, the rudimentary safety helmet he wears, no defense against a bullet to the head. Yuri saw Russian soldiers bring him here. They were taking him at gunpoint, he told us. Russian troops set up camp in a courtyard outside his apartment block, their presence still felt in the discarded beer bottles, empty munition boxes and overturned cars. On the first day of the invasion, Russian paratroopers spilled onto the tarmac at the nearby airport. This is what's left of Hostomel Airport, where one of the most significant battles of this war was fought, preventing the Russians from taking it over. It's an apocalyptic vision, the crumpled, melted frame of the world's largest plane, testament to the fierce fight that stopped Russian forces from setting up a supply line here. But it could not halt their invasion of nearby Bucha and the horror that followed. Tanya Nedashkivska found her dead husband in a pile of bodies at the foot of a basement staircase. I'm begging you to do something. Make peace so no one ever grieves again, she sobs. Everyone just wants to live. The tears of a widow demanding to be heard, imploring the world not to look away. I've covered many conflict zones and witnessed some of the most brutal atrocities of this century. And frankly, what I saw in Bucha is among some of the worst I've seen. I personally saw evidence of war crimes, stories that just cannot be staged, and the overwhelming grief witnessed just can't be manufactured. Vlad, Anne-Marie?
All right, Deborah, thank you so much. Nick Osychenko is a Ukrainian journalist and CEO of Mariupolsko TV, a television station in Mariupol. I'm so glad you are joining us again. We know that you managed to escape Mariupol, but now the world is looking at the images coming out of Bucha. And the question many are asking is, if it looks this bad in Bucha, what on earth is happening in Mariupol? Because we don't have access to that city. I don't think there's cell service. How concerned are you?
Good morning, America. You know, you're actually right. Yes, that's the pictures from Bucha is the terrible pictures. Yeah, but when the world will see what is going on and what they was done in Mariupol, I think you will be shocked. You will be shocked. And actually, as for me, I don't shocked when I saw the pictures from Bucha, because. Those pictures I see every day. I saw every day in Mariupol. Yeah, you know, when you see the dead children, when you see the parts of bodies of children, it's the terrible. Yeah. So when we will get access to Mariupol to film, to document all the bodies, all the people who died, I think it will be the terrible shock.
How has the lack of access to information contributed to the spread of disinformation? Because now you have the Russians essentially saying that they are not responsible for these atrocities, but satellite imagery shows that these atrocities occurred while the Russians were actually in the town. You cannot dispute the satellite images that have now been shared.
Vlad, you are quite right. Yeah, the lack of information, it's very, very dangerous. every day here in Zaporizhia, I speaking with people who escaped from Mariupol, and they told me that only information they know there, it's in Zaporizhia, it's street fights, street explosives, and so on, so on, so on. So it's lie, but they don't have any information. They don't have any access to news lines, to internet, so on, so on. So if the people hearing that in Ukraine, the hell, in every city, the street fights, tanks, and so on, they are going to Russia, yeah? So they think that in here is the same hell as in Mariupol, yeah?
You know, President Zelensky is going to be speaking to the UN Security Council today. We've heard a number of world leaders now call what we are seeing in Bucha a war crime. And no doubt when we have access to other cities, there's probably going to, as you point out, there's probably going to be scenes very, very similar. I'm going to ask you your personal feeling, because I know that you had to escape from Mariupol with your children, with your family. What you witnessed in Mariupol, would you consider those war crimes?
Look, when we was in Mariupol, it was something different from Bucha, yeah? When we was in Mariupol, there were no street fights. It was only artillery, only mines, shellings, missiles from the plane, bombs from the plane. And you know, right, I think something about an hour ago, I spoke with my colleague who escaped Mariupol a couple of days ago. Right now, she is in the hub for people who escaped from Mariupol. These hubs in Zaporizhia everywhere. So we have too many people from my city here. So Renata Akhmetov makes some hubs, and this girl, I think she's something about the 35 years old, maybe the 40, like me. She with her son escaped the Mariupol, but his husband left there. His body left there. Yeah, so they was at home. He was in the kitchen, and the artillery attacked the kitchen, and they lost a dad and the husband, yeah, in one day. And I spoke with them. It's very hard. And they told me that they saw the Bucha's images, yeah, but they don't was shocked, because they saw it in their city. They saw it every day. And you know, the children saw it every day, yeah. You asked me how about my children. They are good, and they are good because they are alive here, yeah. But when the children hears the loud sound of an old car, yeah, they thinking that it's not a car. They thinking that it's a plane, and they are trying to find some safe place to lie down, yeah. And I think it will be some months to solve it, yeah, for my children. But for other children who left in Mariupol, it's as a hell, yeah.
Yeah, it's hell.
The images are horrific, and you know, we obviously know that Volodymyr Zelensky is scheduled to address the United Nations later today. It will be very interesting to see what the world, the United Nations, says in the face of these images and in the face of President Zelensky's speech.
And what they will do.
What they will do is more important. Thank you so much for what you've been able to do, your reporting, Nick. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, and thank you for giving the time to tell the world what is going on really in Mariupol. Thank you.
We will continue to do that. Thank you very much, Nick.